Hey everyone, this is Christian Fioravanti with Republicans for Independence. I'd like to welcome you so much to this call. I'm actually here with a very special guest. Today we're going to be interviewing someone who is running for Assembly in District 9 here in California, and his name is Tony Amador, and he's actually running against Assemblyman Pan, who is the Democrat incumbent and definitely a guy we've got to get out of office. So we are very glad to have Tony here. So Tony, the first question I want to start out with is, you've had a very vast career, starting out working as a police officer in L.A. for 13 years, heading to the Unemployment Development Department, and some of our audience actually is probably not very familiar with you, so please tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, I think for them to know me, they might want to know a little bit about my background. I'm number 12 of 14 brothers and sisters, so that might tell you how I feel about the right to life. Sure. I've been married for 47 years. Just this month I celebrated that with a woman, so that tells you also how I feel about that. But I don't really, having said that, I'm not running on social issues, and I'm not for bashing any minority. I really believe in supporting the constitutional rights of everyone. And I went to McGeorge Law School. I retired about 3 years ago as United States Marshal for the Eastern District of California. And I moved to Lodi from the Elk Grove area because I ran for Congress and thought I had a very good chance of replacing a liberal. It didn't work out quite that way, and so when they redistricted, I realized that the incumbent assemblyman was had just purchased a 2-bedroom unit in the district so he could run, and yet he kept his principal home. And on top of that, what made matters so much worse is I thought the hypocrisy of these professional politicians was such that he began to draw per diem, stating that he couldn't afford to sell his other home. And so we, the taxpayers, were going to pay for the pleasure of having him run in a district in which he is really a carpetbagger.
Wow, yeah, that's right.
A little bit more about myself. I have 4 daughters. I have 14 grandchildren, and I'm very concerned about their future. I think we keep passing legislation. We're going regulation and rule crazy in Sacramento, and who's paying for all of these programs are going to be our children and our grandchildren.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I'm concerned about the future. I'm concerned about jobs leaving California, and they're going to friendlier climes such as Texas, where they're not over-regulated. I'm concerned about priorities that state government is setting. I'm concerned we have a good mix of rural and urban areas in this district, in the new district. But I'm concerned about the fact that we're looking at, and conceptually it's a good idea to have a high-speed rail, but timing is so important. This is the worst time ever to impose taxes on taxpayers. And when they voted for that concept, they never in their wildest imagination, the taxpayers thought that they were going to take on a $68 billion debt for something that may even cut through farmlands and everything to the first leg of it's going to start in Fresno and go down to Bakersfield. And, you know, I'm sure you've been down there and seen the lines of people wanting to go from Fresno to Bakersfield.
Yes.
Almost ridiculous. But anyway, back to your questions. That gives you a little bit of a history of where I am. My public career, I've served at the federal, state, and local level. I started as a police officer. I was 13 years with LAPD, and then I have worked for the state also. I've worked for both Presidents Bush, Pete Wilson, and I've worked for George Duke Major. And I was actually the director of the California Youth Authority under Jerry Brown's administration, but I do not share his philosophies. But even today, maybe he's trying to clean up some of the mess that was left from previous administrations, and talking about his own administration. If you know much about public sector collective bargaining, it was because of the Myers-Millis-Brown Act that they mandated public employees bargain for their benefits. So they threw police, fire, and everybody into this union mold, and now that's come back to haunt the poor taxpayers.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, I'll wait for your questions. I'm sure that you have some things that you'd like to know about me specifically.
Definitely, I've got several of them here. Yeah, no, that was great. Actually, you sort of touched on a lot of issues that I have questions on, so that's good. It kind of is a good preamble to it. So yeah, that's fantastic. Well, I definitely want to thank you, Tony, for coming on. I failed to mention that in the beginning, and we really do want to help you get in there because you know that you're the right man for the job.